What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. Today we are out on the WR250X and we're going to be talking about why a Supermoto could potentially be the best all-around bike that you can own. So the bike I've got here is a 2008 WR250X, pretty much mainly stock, except changed the blue to the white, did an aftermarket headlight. It has an FMF Powerbomb header and a FMF Q4 exhaust with the insert removed. But other than that, pretty much stock bike, stock gearing, stock everything else. And I have to say that this is one of the funnest bikes I've ever owned. I've owned quite a few bikes, dirt bikes, street bikes, cruisers even. Had a Honda Magna V4, which was probably one of the funnest cruisers I've ever rode. But nothing that I own or have owned, currently own, compares to how much fun I have on this WR250X. Now, I'm kind of a bigger guy. I'm almost 6 foot, 250-ish pounds. And this bike right here, even though it's a 250, carries me around pretty daggone easy. So, not sure what we have here. Looks like we have an old Honda 4Trax 200 that may or may not be holding up the way here. We may have to detour off this road. We are doing 22 miles per hour, actually like 19 miles per hour, in an already 35 mile an hour limit. And it's kind of killing my vibe talking about my bike. Let's just detour back to the airport where I originally unveiled this bike. So anyway, like I was saying about this bike, I am 250-ish pounds, almost 6 foot tall, and I have quite a bit of room to move around on this bike. It is framed a little bit smaller than my CRF 450 is, but still plenty of room. Now, I don't know if I would ride 2 up on this bike. I mean, it is obviously possible. It does have rear pegs, and it is built to do so. However, it is just so much fun to ride by yourself on this bike in particular. And so I don't know if I would risk myself riding 2 up on this bike. I have other bikes for that. The Hayabusa being the one that, you know, if I'm gonna ride 2 up, that's what we're gonna take. But anyway, this bike is incredibly cheap on insurance. I pay $8 per month for this bike to insure through Geico. I'm 34 years old, so I'm sure that has some to do with it. I have a spotless driving record. That I don't know how. But less than $10 a month for this bike. So incredibly easy to own. I bought this bike for pretty cheap. I've thrown probably about another $500 into it with the fairing change and the headlight, stuff like that. And I still have, you know, not that much money in this bike tied up. If you guys seen from the beginning, I filled this bike up for like $2. Now, I think it did have like probably a half a tank of fuel in it, but it has like a little bit over 2-gallon tank. That is one of the downfalls of the bike, is if you do take it on long rides, you do have to kind of stop more for fuel than normal. But you know, that's expected. It is what it is, and it is a trade-off. But the fun factor you have getting from point A to point B, especially around town, just cannot be described on this bike. It is a 6-speed, so it does ride more like a actual street bike that is 6-speed. My CRF is a 5-speed, and you kind of run out of gear, but I don't know if I've ever ran out of gear legally on this bike, staying within the speed limit. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the top speed of this bike is. That is the next thing we're going to find out on a separate video. But as far as road use goes, I couldn't ask for anything better. It handles incredible, and it is actually pretty comfortable. I have the factory seat with just the Moto seat cover on it, but they do make higher and more comfortable seats that I do think would probably benefit you if you're going to be riding this on a long distance. I don't really take this bike on long trips. If I did, I may haul it to somewhere close and then just kind of ride the area that I want to. But that's the great thing about this bike. Either on-road or off-road, you can ride this to the trails given you have the right tires on. I have the factory And I do believe these are still the factory set that came on it, tires on this, so they are just on-road use only. If you watched the last Supermoto video I posted, I actually did take it off-road, but I was kind of sliding everywhere, especially in the wet or in the muddy conditions. So this bike in its current form is not the best for that, but all it takes is a tire change, and that will line you out for off-road use. I really just wanted to ride up here to get the thumbnail with this helicopter. Apparently he takes people for a ride in that Huey, which is pretty daggone awesome. So now that we are done up at the airport, kind of checking out that Huey that I wanted to go see, I'm going to show you the other aspect of this bike and why I love it, especially for where I live here in southern West Virginia. One, Jesus Christ, we can avoid all these potholes. Anyway, Logan is kind of right in the dead center of the Hatfield-McCoy trail systems, and here in Logan we actually have barrel wallow trails, as you've seen in a lot of my off-road videos. I think actually every one of my off-road videos have been filmed on the barrel wallow trails. But it is not legal for an off-road vehicle to actually be on these roads here, which is Route 17 that goes up to the barrel wallow trailhead. However, that's the great thing about this Supermoto. You can pretty much ride to the trails and then go riding on the trails, and you're going to do just fine. Like I said, given the tire situation, I'm still on the factory street tires, like I said, so would I push this bike off-road a whole lot? Probably not. It's more of a kind of slow and calculated type of riding on these tires, just because you can slip so easy because of the street tread on the tires. I have looked at a couple of different ones that you all suggested, both on the Facebook groups and on my YouTube videos, so I'm probably going to switch over and either buy another set of wheels and put the off-road tires on it, or I'm just going to get a full-blown dual sport tire. That way we can just pretty much ride it anywhere we want to go, and that's probably how I'm leaning toward. But we have now rode up to the barrel wallow trailhead. It's actually right up here, so we're going to kind of dabble around off-road a little bit. Looks like we got all kinds of people up here on the trails today. It's actually the busiest that I've ever seen this trailhead is this right here, which is a good thing. I think barrel wallow is probably one of the most underrated systems in the Hatfield-McCoy trail system. But like I said, I don't want to push this bike too hard on full-blown street tires, but just kind of dabbling off-road to show you that, you know, you can go straight from on-road to off-road and be just fine. I think Chase on Two Wheels was probably one of the first people to really get this bike out there, from what I can recall. And he's did plenty of videos on the both on-road and off-road capabilities of this bike. So guys, there we are. We have successfully made it from on-road, going and exploring a Huey helicopter, to off-road onto the Hatfield McCoy trails. Like I said, is a Supermoto the best all-around bike you can get? In my opinion, I believe so. Like I said, I don't know if there's any other bike that you can really just like go ride hardcore on the roads and then hop on the trails and do just fine. Like I said, I'm on full-blown street tires, so I don't know if I would really push it much harder than what I just did. But for what I just did, it did just fine. Now, would I do stuff like this on it with these tires? Probably not. I don't trust my ability on dirt bike that much to do it with street tires. I've did all this on my CRF, as you all have seen before, but I think the CRF is going to be leaving soon. So we're going to be replacing it though, don't you worry. So guys, if you like this video, if you like the WR250X, if you like the Supermotos in general, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 1.1K, and I'll see you guys on the next video. So Outro crew, if you stayed around this long, I did break my headlight. Well, didn't really break it, the bolts came out. Don't know when, but they're in this side, and they are not on this side. Oh well, it shouldn't go anywhere. 2 bolts are better than none.